Welcome to episode 81 of Lost Signals. My name is Daryl. And welcome back to Miss Whitney Weston from Maidstone, Saskatchewan, owner of Flatlands Kennels, training and boarding. And you know what? I rewatched the episode the other day, or part of it. I remembered the name of it this time.
You're winning.
Yes.
You're winning.
There's a little bit of a delay with the audio here. And just Whitney kind of lives in a spot where the internet isn't super great. So, but we're going to deal with it today, and it's going to be just fine. But how have you been? You are actually, before I get into that, you're actually the first person to come on the show more than once as a guest. So congratulations to that. I don't know if that means anything, but here you go. Here you are the first. So
yeah, that's pretty fast.
I don't know if you would call what we do around here fancy, but it's definitely something. No, I mean, and fancy's in our kennel right now. So how have you been? How's
that's
things?
What I was thinking. It was like, well, yeah. Good. Yeah, I've been really good and busy, and just had some health problems that I've been dealing with, but I'm still just being positive and living the dream, you know.
That usually when somebody says living the dream, it's more like just it's a nightmare. But yeah, I know the feeling. Yeah. So
yeah.
So actually I was looking at the dates for this too, and it's just about, I think it's 3.5 years since you were last on. So it's not much has changed this
time.
way.
Yeah, it was like November last time.
Yeah. And yeah, we had a good chat then. I mean, and actually, like I said, it's still one of my most played episodes on Spotify right now. So you must have pushed it out to all of your friends, and then they all just watched the shit out of it. So that's good.
I did. I was like, look what I did.
Next time though, when we do this, because we'll do this a third time, we're gonna make sure that you have Starlink or something better for your internet, just for next time. But yes, so
we should just do it in Saskatoon, and then it's like, oh, yeah, we're good.
That would work too. Actually, next time you're in Saskatoon, we can sit down and have a chat. So what's been going on in the last 4 years? I mean, let's see. I follow your Instagram page and your Facebook page, and it seems like you always have something interesting going on. Like you got some trips and stuff you've been over the last couple of years. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. I've opened up and then closed my second location for the kennel, and we had an indoor pool and all that kind of stuff going on. But it just became too much with everything. And so I just downsized this year, but I did that for 3 years. So, it's not too bad. And I met some really awesome people still through that.
Yeah.
But I've been traveling lots to the States and hunting with my dogs, and just hunting in general too at home. My son is old enough to hunt now, and he's really into it, which brought me really back around into it again. Just spending more time with my family.
Nice.
Been going to the lake with my dad and family, and then just actually taking time for myself for once, which has been really different for me, but super awesome. So
nice.
Other than that, it's just like same old everyday chores and talking to dog people and planning breedings, and always something going on with the dogs, like we have to get a dog somewhere, we have to talk to clients, or there's always something.
Yeah. And then probably dealing with the mountains and mountains of dog shit again.
Yeah, there's so much shit.
I know, and I think we talked about this last time too, is that like there's it's been warm out here, and I should have been picking up dog poop today, but I just didn't want to. That's a problem for future Daryl, because
I just finished.
Yeah, that guy's a dick. So
that's a future Daryl. Poop is the window to the soul, Daryl. You have to always watch your dogs poop, because then you know how they're making out.
This is true. And like, in Fancy has she's getting up there in age, so she's gonna be 13 in May, and so I kind of been watching it a lot closer, like, because and that's we're gonna that's a lead into what we're gonna talk about here in a little bit, but nice. it seems to be, I mean, it's for her, it seems to be okay, and then, they just, you know, do whatever they want because they're dicks. But yeah. Um,
Yeah,
so
those are dicks.
yeah, they are. But I mean, like Loki can sit so nice sometimes, and he curls up in my lap, and he's just a big suck. But then the next time he's headbutting me because he's a dick. But yeah, so you kind of
Yeah.
switched from. It's not that you've switched, but in the last little while, like following your Facebook post and stuff, it's not that you've gotten away from Amstaffs, but you seem to be more into the hound style of dog now. Do you want to talk about that for a bit?
Yeah, so I just found that I'm not getting any younger. And Amstaffs and pit bulls are a lot of dog, obviously. So I really found finding staff that was able to handle them and properly care for them and accommodating them in like the weather we live in
Yeah.
and finding the right homes for these people is just not the easiest thing to do. And then I also found that the community was incredibly toxic. The Pibble people and the not saying that all of them are. I still have some amazing friends there I would not give up for the world.
Yeah.
But the community in general is extremely toxic. And I just had to kind of get myself away from that a little bit. But I always will have some.
Yeah.
I did make a promise to, my mentor who passed away, and so I'll always have her bloodlines. And I do have some dogs that I deeply love that I will just never get rid of them because I love the breed and um, I genuinely have a passion for them.
Yeah.
But in theoretical real world applications, they're just not long-term sort of dogs for me.
Yeah.
I guess in great numbers anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm always going to keep breeding them and keep having them, but they're just not going to be my main focus anymore.
Yeah. And I get that. I mean, they're a handful, they like dealing
Yeah.
with.
And I mean you just have like not downsizing anything that you've done, but you don't like you've never had like what some of the dogs that I've had kind
No.
of so to say, like some of the incredibly high drive game bred dogs and stuff like that. So it ended up being just like a lot because I don't have a problem handling them or keeping them, but it became like I could never leave home or go away or do anything without some kind of issue happening
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
thing. So I just got to the point where I was like, yeah, for all intents and purposes, this isn't working out.
Yeah. Yeah. No. And I get that. And I know we mentioned this last time too. It's a mental health thing, like if you're dealing with a, a
Mhm.
high stressed or high energy dog all the time. I'm not saying that
Yeah.
I know about it like you do, obviously, but like dealing with Loki some
Mhm.
days, it's like, okay, you need to go
Yeah.
away, or I need to leave because
Yeah.
one of us is going to do something we're going to regret. So, but yeah,
And I mean, I'm 21 years next month into the breed and the dogs. So I've seen some shit.
in more ways than one too, obviously, but yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So I know I asked you this last time too. It's like, so how many dogs in general do you have at at the homestead right now?
Actually, I'm down to 19 right now.
Okay.
Which is crazy because last summer I had 52. So a lot of my pit bulls and amstaffs were ancient and ended up being going to heaven. And then um, I rehomed a few dogs to the right people and right places that they needed to be. And then yeah, I have a litter about to be due also like tonight, maybe
Oh,
tomorrow.
really?
So yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah. So I don't
yeah.
know. I just I've got my couple cocker spaniels and our two chihuahuas, and then maybe like 8 pit bulls left, and then a bunch of hounds.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. You lost one of your cornerstone dogs. in the last couple months. I seen
Mhm.
Design. That was super sad.
Yeah.
You know, that was a relation of Fancy, I believe. Sister.
Like Dino?
Yeah.
Oh, Dino wasn't related to
No.
Fancy.
Who am I?
He came from
Okay. I don't. Yeah, I thought there was one of them that you had lost recently. That was like Fancy's sister or aunt or something. But yeah.
um no, I don't think so. Bird passed away well a few years ago now,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. I don't know what I'm thinking of.
like lost a lot of dogs. Like and like that's a problem when you have a bunch of dogs, that you lose a lot of dogs over time and
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
shit happens. Like we've had intussusceptions and pyometra and you've had all these kinds of different things happen. I've had a dog literally just drop dead on me,
Oh,
a
really?
2-year-old dog.
Wow.
I paid for necropsy, no results.
Huh.
I had another dog was taken to a show on the Lower Mainland, and same thing, 3-year-old dog just dead in the box in the morning, in
Oh
the dog
boy.
box. And brought him home, and same thing, they could find no cause for it. So just stuff happens when you have animals. And like, I mean, I grew up on a farm, so you see kind of whatever.
Yeah.
It's not just exclusive to dogs, is what I guess I'm getting at.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure I told you this, but Fancy had pyometra a couple of years ago. Like,
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you told me that. But
yeah,
you caught it and you were able to save her.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the only
Yeah.
reason I knew something was going on is that I walked into my house and she was sitting there staring at me and she was blinking funny. I don't like it was completely out of character how she was blinking. It was just because it was really slow and it's like,
Yeah.
so yeah, first thing the next morning, I took her into the U of S and yeah,
Yeah.
it was a little scary, but yeah, I'm glad she's still
Yeah,
here.
it is life-threatening and it is, yeah, it can be fatal. And it's funny because yeah, that is so funny because dogs don't show pain a lot. You have to really know your dog and know your dogs and watch your dogs and see
Yeah.
these little signs that they don't they're not always obvious, right?
Right.
That their behavior is off. So if you know your dog, like what happened with our one situation was that she didn't eat her supper or her breakfast. And like, as anyone knows, a pit bull will eat until it pukes and then eat the puke. So that was a very abnormal thing to happen. And so I immediately vet trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So we saved that dog as well. But sorry.
no, go ahead. So it's that little delay there is kind of screwing me up, but it's fine.
Yeah. We did save that dog. We had emergency surgery done on her and saved her, but she really, really had a tough time even putting weight back on and looking ever normal again. Like it was overnight that she really like declined and went downhill. And I mean, she wasn't a young dog. She was maybe like 6. So it was really tough on her. And I was actually leasing her from the States. So I kind of got her like as healed up as I could, but the next available ride for her back to the States was like in 3 weeks.
Boy.
So she kind of had to go down, in shape that I wouldn't have liked to see.
Right.
But yeah, it was crazy because in all my years in dogs and having intact dogs, that was actually my first and only experience with it. So, because vets love to tell you like you need to spay your dog. They tell all the pet people this: you need to spay your dog because it's gonna get pyometra and die. Like that is just like guaranteed thing.
Yeah.
And it's just really not the fact of the matter.
Yeah. And like Fancy when hers presented, I mean, she was just about 9, I think, like, and I should have got her spayed way earlier than that. Well, because in all honesty, it would have saved me like $1,000 because a normal spay would have been about $400 and this emergency spay was $1,400. And I got lucky because they didn't screw up doing the surgery. So, yeah.
Right, because yeah, with the infection in there, they can definitely create some sepsis issues and further issues that result from it, not just that actual contained infection in the uterus. So
yeah,
it's a tough one because there's 2 types too. There's open and closed. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So.
Fancy's was thankfully closed, but I had a. We could probably talk about the dumb shit that our dogs have done, this whole episode, but we won't go that far with it. But I had to take Loki to the U of S vet clinic a couple months ago. I had I was gonna have a little snack. I was gonna eat a peach, and I got up to like fill my water glass and
Oh,
whatever. And then my peach was gone, and I heard Loki chewing on something on my bed. I'm like, you little fuck. Yeah, and
pit.
yeah, he
Yeah.
ate the pit. Yeah, so that was a quick trip
Yeah.
to the vet.
I had a friend. Yeah, I had a friend whose dog ate a whole corn cob.
Oh boy. So
Uh,
would that have been a full surgery then? Yeah, yeah.
I actually don't remember what the outcome of it was. But the dog did live after it.
Yeah,
So either surgery or it passed. I can't remember.
yeah, yeah. Oh boy, yeah. You know, we love these dumb things, you know, and they are kind of dumb, but like they do some really dumb shit sometimes. So yeah, um,
Yeah, they do.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you know, like speaking of this, I mean, like, and this is something I've thought about too. It's like the ethics of, you know, call it pet ownership. I mean, like, because essentially, like, yeah, you have working dogs, but essentially they're still a pet, right? So what's like
Yeah.
when like we'll talk about some other stuff too, but like when it's coming to say end of life, you know, like what is the like what is, in your opinion, as somebody that's worked with dogs for a long time, like what is the right, when is the right time to, you know, send them over that rainbow bridge, honestly?
Um, that's gonna probably depend, on your own personal circumstances. There's a lot of factors involved, like behavior is a thing. Physical pain. I guess it's kind of like I'm actually like a big supporter of MAID. Like I believe in giving dignity in death, right? So I believe if you are at the point where you cannot live a healthy mental and physical life, that if you choose to be euthanized, then that should be an option for you. We do it for our dogs.
100%.
So why do we deny our friends and family that, right? So that's kind of my thought process on MAID. But it comes down to dignity. I believe, like, if you've, especially if you've had working dogs, you have seen the power and the grit and the constitution and substance behind these dogs, and when you watch that decline, you can just tell the dog is no longer living a mentally healthy life, right? Like, or also pain related to injuries, or also just old age things. Like, I've seen some people that I really don't agree with them having kept their dog alive that long despite the circumstances. I understand that you've provided all this vet care and money and you love the dog, but that's pretty selfish. So I think that if your dog has lost its dignity, it's time for you to make the decision for them,
I agree.
because they're not going to make it on their own.
Yeah.
I've literally just never had a dog who was like died in its sleep peacefully, where I had was like woke up in the morning and it was like, oh, old
Yeah.
Rover headed out.
Yeah.
But it was like, when I looked at Dino, for example, because he was my most recent euthanization. So he was almost 14. He had testicle cancer. He still looked great and he was still acting great, but he was messing himself, during the day.
Yeah.
And that was not who that dog was. So there was just something, either internally with the cancer, or his age muscle, something was happening and he was messing himself,
Yeah.
and he was appalled, like he didn't want to be anywhere near his messes or his dirt or filth. And it got to the point where it's gonna be cold out. It's cold weather's hard on old dogs and old people's bones and joints and muscles and everything. So it was just time to say, like, to call it. It was just time that he needed to rest.
Yeah.
That's just kind of it.
Yeah.
And then we were kind of talking earlier, but before this started, about Soup. I had to make the call for her, because you're just watching this dog living in her own personal hell. So she had such deep behavioral, psychological problems that she was unable to live a normal life. So she couldn't function as a dog should function. She couldn't relax. She couldn't settle down. She couldn't keep weight on. She couldn't stay clean. And none of those things are, those are all against nature. That's against nature in period. So I had to make the call for her because despite the fact she was a young dog at the time, she was just not made right in her brain. So
Yeah. So for people listening or watching, Soup was my dog Loki's sister, same litter, and we talked about Soup the last time you were on. That was like when she was doing like she went semi-viral for what she was doing, right? Because she would poop or whatever and like do something weird with it. Yeah.
yeah,
So, um, but you know that's the reality
yeah,
of owning a pet. Is like they're not going to be able to make
yeah.
that decision like as you said made, and I am also a huge proponent of it. It's exactly like you said.
Mhm.
If we do the same for our pets, we should be able to do the same for ourselves. So uh but
I think
as a pet owner, you have to make that decision for them because they're, you know, they're, if they had their way, they would, lots of them would just walk off and just not come back, you know, if they're still
yeah, and I
able
mean
to,
that
like,
and I mean we live in Saskatchewan, so the sheer amount of farm dogs that do that is it's out there. Like
yeah,
they do that. But I think about like Angel, for example. She died a super traumatic death, right in front of me.
yeah,
She started seizing, and then she seized the entire way to the vet. Well, and I just remember driving like a million miles an hour with her in the back seat, seizing all over the place, seizing so hard she fell off the seat onto the floor of the truck. And I remember just like looking back at her and her looking at me with like this look in her eyes, like she knew like that I was taking her in, and like it was like thank you,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So like I anthropomorphizing to her or like saying that dogs have human emotions because they simply don't, but you could tell that she just was ready to go,
yeah.
you know.
They definitely don't have the same emotions as us, but I would argue with anybody like there is at least some emotional response, right? You know, because a dog, like
Yeah.
they have their moods, you know, like whatever, you know, but yeah,
Oh
I could
yeah.
see that. I know, like I remember the day that Kane died, you know, and maybe I should have put a, you know, a little spoiler at the beginning of this about like how dark some of this stuff can actually be, but like the day that Kane died, I was sitting in my office and my ex at the time was sitting in the living room with him. And first, he got up off the
Hmm.
couch and he laid on the ground. And then, as he was laying there, he shit. I'm like, and then he started seizing.
Right.
So I'm like, I threw him in the back of my car, and
Yeah.
I again, same thing. Like I started driving towards Saskatoon as
Yeah.
fast as I could, and I stopped and I checked him, and he was gone before I even got out of town. Like, it was just, but it was
Yeah.
that is full on like PTSD. Like it was, it still fucks with me. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but you know, like
Yeah.
that's that's what you sign up for when you get a pet. In all honesty, yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the shitty
And
part of it.
you don't get to decide. Yeah. Lots of times you don't get to decide. Like, I mean, again, my circumstances are a little different because I've probably owned well over 200 dogs, but and I see on a regular basis every single day I see 20 to 25 dogs
Yeah,
in the summer more.
yeah,
And I've seen them in every capacity. I've seen them from breeding to birthing to whelping to or birthing is whelping,
yeah,
to puppy raising, to temperament testing, to severe behavior problems, to normal dogs, to different breeds, to sports, to hunting, to, you know, and I've gotten to, I've been so blessed to experience all different kinds of dog hunting from bird retrieval, upland dogs, running hounds, sight hound, or sorry, trail hounds, hog dogs. I've seen so much, and it's just crazy because you don't get to decide a
right,
lot of the time.
yeah,
And if you're lucky in your life, you might own 5, 6, maybe 7 dogs. Um, And I do pray for everybody that they get a full life of the dog, and it's great. But unfortunately too, we have all this backyard breeding, kind of fad breeding stuff going on. And you're getting all these like really horribly bred dogs that are just doomed from the beginning with
Yeah.
genetic, health and behavior problems. And so unfortunately the world has shifted and it's just not the case anymore.
Yeah. Uh, and the amount of people that you actually see doing that backyard breeding shit, it's really disgusting when you think about it. Like, I mean, I'm not a fan, and
No.
I know there's people out here that do it. It's like, oh well, we have these two dogs that they make nice puppies. Let's just sell them. It's like, this goes back to the
Yeah, like,
ethics of pet ownership. It's like,
yeah.
I know you've told me this before. It's like it's about the betterment of the breed.
Mhm. And like again, I've kind of moved into these stag hounds, bull stags and lurchers and that type of thing, which are not a purebred dog, but they are, excuse me, a land race type breed, right? So people have been breeding them for purpose for hundreds of years, literally.
Yeah.
So the dogs that already had these sort of health and behavior problems just didn't make the cut to get bred. So it was sort of almost like a natural selection process rather than looking at pedigrees all the time, although there is some of that involved as well. Um, but I just look at it like people don't understand if you do a breeding, like your dog it could die, first of all. The whole litter could die. Like there could be so many complications. There's huge expense and time involved in it if you're doing it correctly. And again, even when we're talking about like even breeding mixed breed dogs, there's a ton of working dogs that are mixed breed. They've been bred for purpose, but at least they're combining, breeds that are doing similar job. Like when I go on Facebook and see somebody advertising a Pyrenees border collie litter, that shoots me right out of the water because I'm just like, so a Pyrenees is supposed to have low to no prey drive to be able to live with livestock, and a border collie is supposed to have almost fully up to the prey cycle steps for moving animals around. So like you're creating a dog that already is like born with an internal conflict.
Yeah. Yeah. That doesn't make any sense. But I mean, like it makes sense, like that, like how you explained it, but like to have the two different temperaments in the same dog is kind of crazy. But
Yeah, and I mean, you see all these like French bulldogs, Merles, and Fluffies now, and they're breeds that don't even come in Merle or never did. So it's like, where did you get Merle from? Because there's two types of Merle on the like M allele, and I've seen people breeding Merle to Merle without testing which Merle it is, because you can't actually breed Merles if you have the correct genetic testing, but you can create blind, deaf, and even just it's a fatal gene if mixed incorrectly.
oh,
So first of all, where did you get that from? It's not a French bulldog if it has Merle in it.
yeah,
So what did you put in there? And is that why we're getting all this reactivity and obsessiveness and stuff in these dogs that wasn't meant to ever be there?
yeah. So where did
Odd.
that gene come from then? Because like I know my sister had a Great Dane that was Merle, but uh,
Yeah, he was here at
yeah,
my house, remember?
right,
Yeah. He so Merle is present in several breeds. Like border collies do have Merle. And there is just several other breeds. Like a Catahoula leopard hound has a separate kind of Merle. But there is no way to tell where the Merle emerged in these breeds that shouldn't have Merle, right?
yeah,
And actually Danes do come in a Merle Harlequin type color. So
yeah,
that's legit,
yeah, yeah,
probably.
yeah, yeah. And actually,
But
yeah, back to the sad part. My sister actually had to have Jasper put down too because he fell, and those big spindly legs, it was just like he just started that he couldn't get back up, and she might have let it go a little too far, but at the same time maybe it wasn't like, but like at when it was time for him to go, it was time for him to go. So it's super, it was super
yeah,
sad, but
I was actually just talking about, yeah, I was actually just talking about this with my friend that was here on the weekend. Because I have a three-legged sighthound. And again, like a lot of people just told me just to put her down, but she was only 2.5 at the time, and she was an excellent, excellent hunting dog. And so I paid the money to have her leg amputated, and she's healed quite fine. And I really keep her activity fairly restricted, and she stays on a memory foam bed contained so that she doesn't end up with arthritis really terribly in her other joints.
Right.
But then I guess you get into the question of ethics, where is that the best thing for her? Is she actually happy,
Yeah.
because she can't hunt anymore, she can't run anymore, and she does, like, I try to fulfill her life, so I'll drown out gophers with the water tank and she can catch those,
Yeah. Yeah.
and she thinks she really did something. But like, she, if I load up to go on a trip to go hunting, she's upset and she'll go off feed and everything. So, did I make the right choice? Was that in her best interest? But it was in the best interest of the lines and the breed, because she could still be bred. She has raised a litter.
Yep.
And she's still an amazing house dog and pet for me. And she is happy also just to do that.
Yep.
So it's tough, right, to decide what you have to make a pretty split-second decision as well, lots of times. So it's tough, and you sit with it.
Yeah. I'm assuming that was a front paw that was taken. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
and sorry.
No.
Delay.
Again,
I have a friend in the States.
Delay's screwing me up. Sorry.
A friend in the States that I hunt with quite a bit, that had an Idaho shag dog that lost a back leg, and he hunted and still did amazing for years, right? But those sight hounds are just so front heavy, all that weight is on there, and she just can't. Even like, we have her outside, and after 20 minutes she's laying down, she's tired.
Yeah. About like a buddy of mine had a German Shepherd that was missing one of his hind legs, but that, like, you could never tell with that dog. Like, it ran and ran and ran, but then it got to the point where it couldn't anymore, and then he faded really fast. That's just, it's the way it is. It's like you put a lot of pressure on joints that aren't supposed to have that much pressure. It's just doesn't end up being a good time, I guess. That's the easiest way to put it. So how many hounds do you, okay, so we'll backtrack. How did you, like, what was I know you kind of mentioned off the top there, but like, what was the defining moment to get to hounds specifically, not over a pit bull, but like, is it the hunting thing or what was that?
I know, like, we got Mo because Tori wanted a dog, and she wanted specifically a greyhound, and Mo was not a greyhound, but he was probably well over half. But I just loved him. Like, I brought him home, and I was like, what the hell? Just like the Chihuahua, though, I was like, I never in my wildest dreams would have thought I would own a Chihuahua, and now I've owned several, and I love them. But anyways, I brought him home, and I was just like, wow, he just fits right in, and he's so easy, and he's so lovable, and he's fun, right? Like, it's fun to watch them run. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And then I saw like other dogs like him advertised on Facebook back when you could do that, and I was like, oh, they were advertising them for $50. So it was like, I better go get one of those. So I did. And I brought, her home, and I was like, oh my God, it's the exact same. Like, so I was like, I need to do this. And then talking to a few friends of mine who breed them. Because, like, again, being involved in the dog world, you sort of have a broad group of friends because you have all different breeds you're involved in. And social media has made that networking a little bit more possible. And so watching their escapades with their dogs, I was just like, like, I could fuck with that.
Yeah.
And I just went in.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, like I love these dogs, and I've had 3 dogs in my life, so way less than you, but I've had the 3, and they've all been pit bulls, and like, but I enjoy other dogs too. And lots of people have asked me over the years, like, if you were going to get another dog, would you get another pit bull? It's like, I don't know, because I'm not there yet.
Right.
Right. Yeah, it's what you feel is right for you at the time. I may be at the point where it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to get another dog. I don't know. You know, like it's a
Right.
decision that a
And
person has to make.
yeah, a lot of people are like that. Like my parents lost their dog recently, and they're just like they're kind of retiring, right? And so like if you're wanting to travel or be at the lake or do all these things, like why would you want to? Because yes, I mean, don't get me wrong, my dogs strap me down. Like I have to pretty much be home or responsible for them, even if I'm not home at all times. So I mean, it is like a change to your lifestyle, and it affects your day-to-day decisions a lot. So I understand people that don't have dogs. I just don't understand people that hate dogs.
Yeah,
Unless, okay, don't get me wrong there. Traumatic experiences are valid,
hundred
being
percent.
attacked by a dog
Yeah,
or
yeah,
bitten by a dog, that type
yeah,
of thing. So, not in that direction, but just people who just look at a dog and hate dogs. I'll never get that.
yeah. And like the amount of like, especially pit bull hate online. And I think we talked about like, well, I know
Yeah.
last episode we talked about like BSL and shit like that. Um, I'm under the thought
Yeah.
that like if it's a lot of it, and it's it's the person at the other end of the leash for a lot of this shit. Like where a dog
Yeah.
attacks somebody. Yeah,
Yeah, like any dog ownership comes down to management, comes down to genetics, because it sometimes, despite being the best handler on the planet, you got a dog that just isn't quite right. And that's nothing to be ashamed of. And again, talking about behavioral euthanasia, like with Soup, like I was certainly not a new dog owner when I had Soup. And she just wasn't right. That's just it. So no matter what I tried with her or what I did with her, she just never came around. So there's all those factors, and I think that it's the saying, it's not the dog, it's the owner, is actually kind of harmful because it makes people who have done everything right feel as though they've failed,
right.
when actually they might have just had the cards stacked against them to start with.
Yeah, I mean, like, and I don't mean that in a as a derogatory thing either. Like I
Yeah.
think the, the
Yeah.
the person at the other end of the leash should be the one that should be putting a lot more thought into the pet ownership. Not that they're just generally a
Mhm.
shitty person, even though there are some really shitty pet owners out there. Like because people are
there,
stupid.
there super is. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, there
there's a
is.
lot of stupid people. Like, yeah, like
Ah,
yeah, yeah. Actually, like the amount of
guess who
sorry, go ahead.
guess who gets to see a lot of them, Daryl?
You get
Me.
to see a lot of them.
um
So you
I
you
actually ended up
sorry.
this year, like in the past year, stepping back from training entirely because I was getting so mentally burnt out from it. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say you must have some interesting stories
Yeah.
from the from your Lloydminster location about dumb people, and I seem to recall a couple posts on your Facebook page about fights with I don't know, former clients, if you want to put it that way, but like just the dumb shit that like pet owners have done.
Oh, well, I had like a little sort of series going on because for, I don't know, it was like a 6 month period. I had a crazy sort of bunch of interactions with clients, whether or not they were new, or old. But I mean, I fired a lot of clients because people were messaging me at 4 o'clock in the morning to try to book their dog in and stuff. And if I didn't answer the message, they'd phone me. And I had a person wanting to pick their dog up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I had a client who I had to make an emergency trip to the vet while their dog was in my care. And I had to rip out of here. And they told me specifically they were not coming until supper time. So I thought, oh God, I have time to get my dog to the vet here and make a decision, go home. And I received a text from them that they had just come here and walked in my house to take their dog. Um, I've had people, like, I don't know how to explain it, but so finally I just started shaming them. I was like, stop doing this to people.
Yeah,
And it doesn't matter if you're a dog care professional or a hairdresser or a nail tech or a mechanic or McDonald's worker. I do not care. You cannot treat people like that. It's just
100%.
not, I don't know. It's not acceptable.
Yeah. Yeah, it like that like if you made like previous arrangements that for some reason they had to come at 6 o'clock in the morning, but you knew like a week ahead of time, that's something that you could maybe
Mhm.
work around. But to start calling people at 4 o'clock in the morning, like get fucked. My like,
Yeah.
your mismanagement
Well,
of your time is not my
and
problem.
yeah, your emergency is not my emergency.
Yes.
And like for my good clients, my regular clients, I will bend over backwards. I will do anything for them and their dogs, including dogs who have bitten me. I don't even care. It's not the dog's fault. They're stressed out. It's not their home. It's not their person. I get it. They're animals, but I'm not mad at the dog ever. But it's just like people need to get a grip big time.
I think a lot of people need training more than some of the dogs need training because people are stupid. I know I've said
Yeah.
this a bunch of times now, but I stand by my statement. So so I
Yeah.
see on your webpage that you have another K9 games coming up. I'm gonna put that up on the screen here so people
Yeah.
can see that. You want to talk about that for a bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I got uh the most incredible group of friends and people because of my Lloyd location, really. When I got the NAD pool and got all the sanctioning and went full on with that, and with the sprinters and with all of that, there has been some incredible people in my life that have made me realize and remember that I can ahead and still do all this big stuff. And I'm a super capable person. Obviously, like I'm pretty inclined to do anything I put my mind to. But I could not do any of it without them. Like they are there if I need to go to another place to run an event for another club. They'll handle my house and my business there like it was theirs. And like even all day today, they were getting together to talk about some marketing ideas and stuff. And I'm just like, I'm so crashed out and busy this week. Um, I was just like, hey guys, I gotta excuse myself from this a little bit. And they were just like, no worries, we got it. And it's like, it's so amazing having that cool little community of people that are so passionate about it and supportive of us. So we're gonna have the exact same people. We're gonna have the same club, the same vibe, moving forward with that positive kind of atmosphere and all these sanctioned events. So we've got like the barn hunt. I'm going to be judging mill racing, and my good friend Amanda is going to come from Regina and do the weight pull likely. And then we've got James and Jenny and Charlene. Charlene's been like a huge cornerstone in the pool. She's always picking me up when I'm down, and James and Jenny are always there to answer anything when I'm being annoying. And so they're going to handle the pool, and then we've got Selena with the Dow Club doing the sprinters, and we've just got like a bunch of like cool friends that come all the time to do help out wherever they need to be with the dogs or the wall climb or whatever else. So it's just basically moved a little bit more into sanctioned events, so you can get points and titles for your dogs, and but at the same time you can also come and just try it out. So you don't have to be experienced. You can just literally show up off the street with your dog, and somebody will direct you where to
Nice.
go and what to do. You can buy punch cards and you can just try out dock diving, or you can try out mill racing, or you the only thing you can't try out is barn hunt, because that's the rules of barn hunt. You aren't allowed to um, utilize the competition space unless you're entered in the trial. So
That does make sense though, kind of.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty fun and it's pretty tiring.
I can bet it's probably like a full day schedule of stuff going on there. So, but
It is,
how
yeah.
many people did
So
you have
and
last
then
year?
nobody
Sorry. Delay.
there was I know there was 212 attendees last year, counting waivers, and we had yeah, it was pretty awesome. I don't know. It's exhausting because nobody sees what goes on behind the scenes, obviously. Like they just come and see the activity. So they don't understand the work that goes into it. Like I have to mow this whole farm and I have to set the lure machine up, and I have to make sure everything is charged and ready. And I have to I have to clean the pool and I have to fill the pool and I have to make sure the chemicals are good and send water tests in and have all this paperwork and I have to make sure my mill bearings are good and the weight pull track is greased and the bales are ready for barn hunt and there's enough rats here and it's like it's all good. So there's so much. And then when everyone leaves, just take all the signs down and just like have a beer on the deck, you know?
I'm guessing that's a pretty long cleanup process after that. So I'm guessing you have.
No, like it's shockingly not.
Oh, really?
Shockingly not that much clean. It takes me about 2 hours to clean it up on the Monday evening.
Well, that's not bad at all then.
No, no, the cleanup is like this is a future Whitney problem.
I'm starting to notice a trend in this conversation today. In case people are wondering, I'm guessing like camping is available and everything while you're there.
hmm So free camping. We've had difficulty getting a food truck out because we had a couple really amazing ones, but they've stopped um, business entirely, actually.
Mhm.
So we haven't really been able to find a replacement. So unfortunately, we don't have necessarily like a food truck, but we have the Dalmatian Club will be selling hot dogs and burgers and walking tacos and like that kind of thing. So there is food options, but yes, it is dry camping, and I would bring snackies.
Did you say dry camping?
Yeah, so no, like there's porta potties, but we don't have water hookups
Oh,
or
okay.
sewage hookups
I'm
for
like,
people here.
when I hear
Yeah.
dry, it's like, is that like no booze or anything? Because I can't see that happening with no booze.
You know, I don't know a dog event that doesn't have booze present, or a cattle event, or anything.
Or a Tuesday
So,
morning in Saskatchewan, you know.
yeah. So you can just get bit in the face by a dog though, so that's fine.
So
I got bit in the face by a dog uh, because of my own stupidity.
well, that's fun. Why
I
did you?
don't I don't get bit very often.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, I heard Loki's barking in his sleep. So yeah. Why don't you
Oh.
tell us the story of how you
So
got
I
bit in the
don't
face?
get yeah, I don't get bit very often because I just am not really scared of dogs and I can read them pretty good. And so I know when to get in and when to get out. But I got bit in the face by a dog because I'm stupid. So the owner told me, don't blow in his face. And I was like, well, I'm gonna blow in his face, of course. So unfortunately, he was turned away from me at the time and I was blowing at him. And he finally turned around and went at me and he hit me with his mouth. Like he didn't bite me. He just hit me with an open mouth and it hit like right here and right here. And he immediately looked at me and was like, "Oh no." And I was like, "Bro, what?"
Uh,
Even though I knew it was going to happen, it was the dumbest thing.
yeah.
But anyways, then my face swelled up so bad, my eyes closed, and I went to the doctor and I was like, I need to have like get some antibiotics or something because this is not good. And then the doctor dead ass told me to my face, I can't be sure that this swelling is related to the dog bite. And I was like, so you're gonna tell me I have these whole ass tooth marks in my forehead and
Yeah.
my lip, and then suddenly somehow my eyes just simultaneously swelled shut? Like this is just a coincidence? Causation doesn't equal correlation.
I don't think it works that way. I really
So
don't.
I was about to head to BC for my trip out there. And so I was like, I need to get this sorted out. I can't be driving through the mountains with my eyes shut. So I started taking the pills and like imagine that the swelling went down.
Oh, surprise.
And yeah, so it was anyways, not the dog's fault. It was entirely my fault. And he didn't even really bite me. It was just more of like a go away and he wasn't looking when he hit me with
Yeah,
his
yeah.
mouth.
Yeah.
I got bit. I just got bit on Saturday also on the hand by a Frenchie. 'Cause I was trying to take him for a walk and he was like, "You're a bitch." I don't know. He didn't want to go for a walk, I guess, and he just launched at me and bit my hand and I was like, That was inconvenient. Why would you do that? Like,
It's just it's more rude than anything. Really.
I've been bit. I was bit on the arm through a winter coat and a hoodie, and it ripped the sleeve right off my winter coat and put stitches in my arm. And I've been bit in the knee. I had a canine slide into the tendon that holds your kneecap into your knee joint. And the feeling of that was the most gross feeling I've ever experienced. I've been bit on the thumb by a lab and had my whole thumb knuckle peeled off. I got bit right here in the webbing of my thumb and pointer finger one time, and the dog bit through and then tore out. And I could see like inside my hand. And I've been bit in the leg, like
Well,
yeah.
the next time we
I
talk
had
about
I
this,
had
we're gonna have a whole segment of where did Whitney get bit.
you can put it in. I got bit. I had a boarable client come once for a board and train, and he was apparently superhuman aggressive. He'd really damaged an older man's leg and so on, and so they brought him over, and I wanted them to take him off leash because a lot of times leashes and fences can make reactivity worse in a barrier, removing the flight option of fight or flight or freeze. So we had him off leash in the playpen, and I leaned down and showed him a ball, and I was like, "Hey, buddy, look at that!" And I kind of shot the ball at him, and I saw him close his mouth and freeze, and I stood up, and he nailed me in the chest. Like I'm talking 182-pound lean dog, and he stood and held me against the fence for probably a solid 3 minutes. It seemed like an eternity, and just barking and barking and barking, and I just didn't move. And his owners were freaking out. They're like, if we come in there, it's gonna get worse. And I was like, I know how dogs work. I said, just leave him alone. And he finally just quit and walked away. And I kept him for 6 weeks for board and train. And by the end of it, me and him were greeting strangers, walking off leash, doing obedience. And I could never get him to load up in my truck, though. He was not interested in going for truck rides.
That's funny. Some dogs just don't like being in vehicles.
No, I couldn't lift him. He weighed more than I did.
Yeah.
I tried.
Yeah. You said you had some shout outs that you wanted to do too. Like you had some people you had to mention.
Yeah, well, like I wanted to add Aaron and our photographers, because Aaron has been absolutely instrumental in our marketing and the vibe and getting excitement back even into me for our events, and her editing and her photography and videography is incredible. If you have a chance, go check her out on Red Shot Images on Instagram and Facebook. Like unbeatable. If you need a photo shoot of any kind done, you need to go to her. We do have also some other photographers that come as well. Like we have Greyhound Photography, that's Catherine, and she does a lot of shows around Alberta. And then we have Ellie Walker, Eleanor Walker Photography, that comes and does our sprinters and different events. She's pretty cool. She's got Jack Russell Terriers, so she's right up my alley.
Nice.
So those people are all around our vibe too, and you got to check them out for sure.
Perfect. Well, yeah, you should make sure you send me those links, because I'll put them in the description for this. So, what's next? Coming up next for you at the kennel?
So it'll just be, I guess, more of the same stuff, really. It's always chores every day. It's not a day in paradise, but I like it, so it's my paradise. But I'm going to be doing some breeding still. So I'm going to still have some Amstaff pups here and there, and the Kerrigan dog stuff. And I will be breeding the hounds, doing some stuff. Oh, there he is. There's Loki.
Yeah, woke up from his nap.
He looks so shiny, Daryl. Good job.
So.
And then, yeah, I'm going to be.
No, go ahead, finish it. I'll tell you. I'm telling my story after.
We're we're going to be doing all these outdoor nat events now at the pool because it's outdoors at the farm. So summer is going to be super busy, just events every weekend, and we still have the facility available to rent for clients and clubs. So if you want to have a sprinters, your club just has to sanction it and show up here, and we literally run it for you.
Nice.
We also travel to do it, so I can take my lure machine anywhere and go do events for people. And I went to Kitimat last year. It was really awesome. Like the people up there were great, and it was beautiful scenery. Um, and it was super fun teaching them just about the lure. And then we've got, everything available for clubs to rent. So like I say, you kind of just sanction the event and show up and we run it.
Nice.
And then we've got dock diving, like I said. So Charlene and them will be really pounding the pool out this summer. Lots of seminars and learning opportunities. And then I'm gonna just support people where they need and do the mill and the weight pull where I can judge and shine. Kind of. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
I have to have 2 surgeries this year still, actually. So I'm gonna be down and out for like a little bit of it, and I'm hoping I can make it through. But I still hope to do some hunting trips and planned to visit some friends that I haven't seen in a while and stuff like that.
Nice
stuff for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So the reason why he's so shiny is that it kind of goes back to like the care of pets thing. I put Fancy on CBD oil, so she gets like 2 milligrams of CBD oil a day, and she was at the point where I thought I was gonna have to put her down, and now she's still old, but she runs around like a dumb shit sometimes. So which is good, but so what I do, because I only feed them once a day, and just the way that I've always done it. But so every morning, like they get fed at night, but every morning they each get a raw egg with the CBD oil in it. And so they love it. Nice. That's their breakfast, and that's what they want. So, but yeah, I'd call Fancy over, but she's she's in her kennel, and she's starting to go a little deaf, I think, or she just maybe selective hearing. Maybe that might be it. That's what I'm gonna go with. She's old. She can do what she wants.
Maybe it's like she's just using that excuse. She's like, actually, I'm old, so I'm just gonna pretend to be deaf.
Yeah.
No, it's a thing, but
yeah. No, she's good. She's good. But yeah. Anyways, thank you again for coming on. We for people in the back, we've talked about doing this 3 or 4 times over the years, and it just either something on my end screw up, or I think something on your end screwed up one. It happens. It's life. We're adults and we've got busy schedules and shit. So it's great to catch up with you again. And we're going to do this again, like I said at the beginning, but we're going to get you Starlink, and so it's a little less choppy, but that'll be fine. Well, like I said, we'll deal with it. We'll put this one probably as an audio only episode, which would be fine too. But
yeah.
So we got your Canine Games coming up, and that is, I'm going to pull the date up here again, if I can remember where it is. There we go. Great Canine Games, June 26th to 29th in Maidstone, Saskatchewan. You can check out the information at flatlandskennels.com. You can also probably get all the info on your website, I'm guessing. I just said that. Your website and your Facebook page, your Instagram, I'm guessing you give people want information through that.
Actually, I'm super terrible on Instagram. It's kind of just turned into my own personal page. I don't really put much on there for the kennel.
Yeah, I have noticed that, but it's fine.
I like, but I do. I am really active on the kennel page on Facebook. Like I'm always not really right now because we don't have anything going on.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be posting more information as information comes. So like we always like rough out everything and announce the date so that people start to save it and plan. And then we really try to cement some details in and come up with schedules and information and make individual posts on everything so that the information can be found there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's a good way to doing it. So if you are interested in that, follow follow their Facebook page. I will have links to all of Whitney's stuff in the description for this video. So, again, thanks again for coming on. And we're not going to wait 4 years to do this again. We're going to do this once a year from now on. We'll try and do it every January. I'm going to put it in my calendar.
Yeah.
And we're going to go from there. So this has been episode 82.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Episode 81 of Lost Signals.
Hey,
go ahead.
Hey, are you still doing a song then?
Oh, we can. Yeah. I didn't know. Yeah. I completely. What song do you want to add to the Found Signals playlist, which is also found on Spotify, which is probably where you're listening to this? I don't know,
because I never thought about it because I kind of forgot. I kind of forgot about it, so I don't remember.
I was going to message you this afternoon to see if you wanted to add something, but if you want to add something, feel free. I don't have anything ready for today to add, but this is all about you, Whitney. So we'll put up your stuff.
I'm just looking through my playlist.
That's when I am.
Maybe Crazy Bitch. Let's just go old school.
That's that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good song in general, anyways. So I'm not going to say anything else more than that. But again, thank you, Whitney. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Yeah. This has
Thank you.
Yeah. This has been
so much.
Episode 81 of Lost Signals. And next time we're going to figure out your internet better. But we'll see you guys out there. Thanks, Whitney.
Yeah. For